Welcome into the top five. I'm Paul Catalina. It is my top five. It's also, you know what? It's Flag and Anthem's top five because they're our sponsor. This fancy shirt, Flag and Anthem. Use our promo code at flagandanthem.com. 365 Sports. Today, teams nobody is talking enough about. And by nobody, I mean the college football populace at large. Number five, the Pitt Panthers. Last year with Eli Holstein, they were undefeated. Without Eli Holstein, they were winless. So, defeated. I'm curious to see what this team can do with 10 or more games of Eli Holstein. Remember, he was one of the top quarterback recruits in the country, was committed to A&M, decommitted, went to Alabama, lost out on his shot there, transferred to Pitt. So he had the juice coming from high school. Just couldn't break through under Nick Saban at Alabama. Goes up to Pitt, and look what's happened. So if Eli Holstein plays this year, Pitt will be a tough out. Or when he plays this year, they'll be a tough out. His health is paramount to their success in the ACC this season. Number six, Number four, damn. You know what? Sometimes you get old. You know, just a little sidebar here. I'm sure you can see this big, gigantic, great thing on my nose. When you're younger and you have acne, you think like, when I'm older, I'm not going to have to deal with it. It's not true. Instead of having 20 zits, you just have one really big, painful one that pops up right before your television show. That's what happens. And I digress. It's messed with me all day. Number four, TCU. Josh Hoover is one of the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. I've got a sneaking suspicion they'll be better in the running game this year than they were last year. And I want to see year two of that Avalos defense. If all of that is better, TCU should be in contention in the Big 12 all year long. And I think it will be. And Josh Hoover in the offense will be good enough to keep them in pretty much every single game that they play. Number three, as we're counting down, not up. We count down, not up on the top five. But sometimes we make mistakes. Illinois. Luke Altmaier returns at quarterback. Their defense is very stout. Brett Bielema enters this season maybe more confident than he's been in a long time about his team, especially with all the returners they have. Now, do I think they're a Big Ten contender? Not yet. But they could get on the right side of the win column pretty quickly and get on a bit of a roll. So it would not surprise me to see them maybe overtake Indiana, although Indiana's schedule is super easy once again this year, and they might be right back where they were a year ago under Kurt Cignetti. But Illinois, someone to watch, because they were better last year than a lot of people give them credit for, and forget some of the big wins that they did have. Number two, Duke. This is Darian Mensah. Duke is paying him $4 million. And this is what you call a football uniform. Duke, people are just now getting familiar with that. And Manny Diaz has got to be fired up that he's got a quarterback this talented that they're paying this much money to make some waves in the ACC. That league after Clemson is pretty wide open. I'll say this. I think Miami, you heard it earlier this week, I think Miami will be okay. I don't think they'll be great. I don't know if Carson Beck has that it factor that Cameron Ward does. I think Louisville will be fine. I think NC State could be interesting. I think Georgia Tech will be tough. I think Duke will be very tough. And I think Florida State will be better. So after Clemson, there's going to be a wide open shot for the number two spot in the league. And I forgot to mention SMU and Kevin Jennings, who you know I'm a big fan of. But Darian Mensah brings a special something to Duke that they have not had in quite a long time. Well, maybe ever. Riley Leonard may be the best quarterback in Duke history, and he's going to be remembered more for what he did in one season at Notre Dame than he did in his time at Duke. But Darian Mensah, really good player, and I think will elevate a Duke offense even higher than it was last year with Malik Murphy, who wasn't bad, and Manny Diaz's defense year two, and that was Mike Elko's guys, Manny Diaz's guys, and now that they know how to play defense at Duke. I know, I'm as shocked as you. And number one, Iowa State. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was a long time ago. It was in December of 2024. In December of 2024, Iowa State played for the Big 12 championship. They did not win that game. But since then, everybody's talking about a lot of other teams in the Big 12 who have not either played in it or have not played in it in a while. They just played in it a year ago. Their quarterback's back. Yeah, they lost some wide receivers, but they replaced those guys through the portal. I think that we are underselling what Iowa State could be with Rocco Becht this year. And Matt Campbell is probably thrilled with that. In fact, if he watches this, and I'm sure he does every single day, because what else does he have to do in Ames, Iowa? I kid because I love. But if Matt Campbell is watching this, he's like, yes, no one's talking about us. Keep it that way, dude. Like, just let us have this chip on our shoulder. Rocco Becht, one of the most fun quarterbacks in the country. Iowa State will be good up front on both sides of the ball. So why are we not talking about them as much as we are, say, other people in the league like Texas Tech? Well, obviously with Texas Tech, they have rolled out the checkbook in a way that has bowled over the nation. But, you know, we're talking about Utah more than them. Utah wasn't in the championship game just a year ago. They were. Utah doesn't have a returning quarterback, even though Devin Dampier really looks exciting. They do. There's not been a whole lot of upheaval. In fact, they only took 8 transfers on the roster this year at Iowa State. That means they're pretty confident in the roster that they have and only went into the transfer portal for what they needed, not necessarily just what they wanted or thought they needed. They got their needs filled by 8 guys in the transfer portal. That's it. Iowa State is for real. In my opinion, again, I reserve the right to be proven wrong. And if I am, you can taunt me in the comments. I only read them 10% of the time anyway. Let's get into the top 5. I'll be sitting over there in a minute reading polls.